So I kind of get the urge to bring the screen closer. Welcome. It is Friday night. What's the date? January 6th. This is the day of the Greek Epiphany, when the Greek Orthodox churches throw the cross in the water, and all the young men go and dive for it, and those that actually get it supposed to get a special blessing. Whatever. Okay, that's what they do. Actually, it's the 3 days. It's the day that the 3 wise men came and brought their gifts to Jesus. That's the day of Epiphany. So that's January 6th, but not for long. Just in a few hours, 2 to be exact, on East Coast time, it'll be January 7th. So we're getting close to Christmas again. Welcome to Christmas. So it is Friday, 10 o'clock. Do you know where your camera is? You don't? Well, where is your camera? All right, so let's get this show going on the road. Welcome. Oh, I got scolded for not telling you last time. We are on the Saramonic microphone instead of the Sony, but we were on the Saramonic microphone last week instead of the Sony also. So it's not like, oh, and the week before. So the Sony mic is the one I've had in here for years and years and years. Now this one takes AA batteries, okay? I think I can get you closer. I'm not sure, but I think I can get you closer. Yes, I can. So this is the box. Now, what's the difference between this one? So if you're watching the CES show, my favorite guy to watch is Kyle at Out of Spec Motoring. And he's at CES. He's an EV guy, obviously. Okay, so he's in electric car vehicles, and fully 1/3, if not more, of the CES show is dedicated, devoted to, or has vendors there that are for EVs, electric vehicles, which I happen to like. Do you know which one I happen to like? You don't? You haven't been around very long. I like the Tesla. All right, the Tesla Model Y. So I know this isn't camera news, but the Tesla, I don't know. You see how you could phrase things to make it sound very different. So I could say Tesla succumbed. They bent to the will of the people. And that's one way to say it. What they did is they added the ability to put a whole full round steering wheel instead of that yoke, which is like half a steering wheel, which a lot of people didn't like. I didn't like it by the looks of it because maybe I'm a little more aggressive driver, but I'm used to, if I have to go around corners, over, well, half the wheel's gone. Well, you go to grab a wheel and it's not there. Where is it? Where's the damn wheel? Okay, it's just not there. So they have a yoke. It looks like a fighter plane. So the coolness factor is absolutely wonderful. All right. But then you've got people out there that actually have created third-party full steering wheels that you could buy and put on your Model S or your Model X because they have the yoke steering wheels on them. So then the Tesla has the Plaid, which is go faster than hell mode. Okay, the car really, really goes fast. Did I mention I'm on the Saramonic mic? The Blink. Somebody help me. What is it? Blink 500? Yeah, I think it's Blink 500. It's the one with the 2. So this is not the Sony one. All right. Oh, I remember how I started this whole thing. I'm watching Kyle at Out of Spec Reviews. He's doing live reports and he's doing videotaped reports from the convention center in Las Vegas, which is where the CES show has started. All right. And I notice there's a lot of dropouts. That right there on his videos, okay, is where you could see why shouldn't I have a 2.4 transmitter, Peter, and why should I have a UHF transmitter? All right, so this is the UHF transmitter. It's a Sony. All right, let's see. I am in the close-up mode. All right, so I don't know if I could show that close enough for you. All right, so that transmits actually in UHF channels, okay? The one that I'm running right now actually transmits in the what is it? Is it 2.4 or 2.8? I always get that mixed up. It's whatever my phone is, which I don't happen to have, so I can't just read the phone. So what I haven't done before, all right, is actually do a distance test. So you know how I've gone to the refrigerator and back and it breaks up. Sly is here, Mr. Camera Junkie's here, Charles is here. So you've seen me say, I ran out of water, which I didn't, okay? So let's do a little walk to the refrigerator and let's see where it breaks up, because there's a concrete wall between me and the refrigerator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start walking. You're not going to see anybody here for a second. Keep your pantyhose on. I'll be right back, okay? But I'm going to talk the whole way through. So I'm also going to count. Now, I'm still in the Christmas room. I haven't even left the room yet, although I'm at the door. So you should have absolutely no problems from here to where the mic is now. There shouldn't even be a static nothing. There's nothing. It's a straight eye, okay? All right, so I'm opening the door. Now I'm going to start counting. All right, now I'm in the old Christmas room. This is the Christmas room that I had before. And when I get the S5 Mark II, I might put it in this Christmas room. So now I'm kind of interested to hear if we've got static. So it's still a 2x4 wooden wall between me and the receiver. So I've got the transmitter in my pocket. Is that a transmitter in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? It's a transmitter. All right, so I'm walking all around the old Christmas room. There's a wall between us now, so I can actually open the piano in here. Okay, so that's the piano in this room. Okay, let's close it up so we don't get dust. So now you're actually hearing the Saramonic through a wall, but it's a 2x4 wall, okay? Meaning it's plasterboarded 2x4s. There's probably pipes. Now I'm going to go in the kitchen. When I get into the kitchen, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now there's a concrete wall, and I'm standing behind the concrete wall. So we actually have a concrete block wall, all right? Now, I don't think it's going to do too well, so I'm actually going to come back in here where you can hear me, because it ain't no fun watching any show if you can't actually hear me. Oh, so while I'm over here, let's go back behind the concrete wall, which means I'm going to the refrigerator. I'm going to fill this thing up with water. All right, so it's going to sound like I'm peeing. All right, so behind the concrete wall, now I'm in the open doorway. So now I'm in the old Christmas room, and I'm heading quickly back. I'm coming back, working my way back to you, babe, with a burning love inside. Okay, let's shut this door. Gonna have to sand that door down one of these days. It's on my to-do list. All right, so we just saw what it was like when I went behind a 2x4 partition wall, which is mostly what your house is made out of, unless you have the metal ones. I don't have one of those in here, all right? And then when I went to the kitchen and the old Christmas room, which is what we call the family room, all right, that one actually has a concrete block wall, and we took one of the windows and it made the doorway to go in from the Christmas room to the kitchen. And there's my mother put French doors in while she was still running the house, okay? So that's what the Saramonic sounds like. Should I do the same thing with the Sony? Really? You want me to do that? Well, we are on the small little live channel, so I could do that. All right, so the first thing that has to happen is I need to put this on and put it I'm just gonna stick it on me, pop it in my pocket real quick, and I'm not gonna thread this under my shirt like the one that's on the Saramonic, okay? So I'm gonna put this outside, okay? So that's the Sony. It's not connected yet, all right? It's still sitting right here. Here the plug. See the plug? Okay. The plug not in. You're still listening to the Saramonic. Okay. So I have all of this on. All right. Now for 1 second, I'm going to unplug the Saramonic, and I'm going to plug this in. So you're going to hear silence for 5 seconds. Can you handle that? All right, I'll be back. All right, I think I got it plugged in. Do I have? Okay, so now we are on this one, okay? So I'm going to put this over here, and then, oh, my cup needs some water. So I'm going to go to the kitchen refrigerator and get some water, okay? So now you're actually listening to this guy that you could see, all right? I didn't clip that on very well, did I? Actually, I opened my shirt up too. Peter, you can get your dress, but I still can't take you anywhere. Okay, all right, so now that's set up properly. I'm going to take that off and go back to the Saramonic when I get back. But for right now, you are actually listening to a signal on a UHF transmitter. And I brought this all up because my friend, I don't speak with him, he doesn't even know I exist, okay? At Out of Spec Reviews, that's the name of his channel, Out of Spec Reviews, all right? He is using the 2.4 gigahertz, and he is all over that Las Vegas Convention Center and breaking up. The whole place is filled with 2.4 signals, okay? So this is a UHF signal. Let's see how much better it does. So I'm gonna, okay. I got one more fancy thing to show you. Thanks to Randy. Randy, I think he's probably sleeping. Okay, the poor guy works. All right, because of Randy, I'm able to plug in my R6 with an HDMI cable and plug it into the ATM Mini, okay? Now, if I go over there, I could turn the HDMI Mini on, and I could be like Tom Buck, where Tom Buck has a camera where, see, this is what I see. That's my blue shirt that I wear all the time. There's the lighting, okay? I added that one light right, forget it, that one that's a circle. Okay, so that's the new 65-inch TV, and there is the other light. And see that little light down there, way, way, way out there? That's the other, whatchamacallit, E10. So this is the R6, this is my camera. Let's see how well it focuses. All right, let's see if I can come down here. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, so that's the Saramonic, okay? So that's not what I'm using right now. I'm actually using this guy right here. So this is the Sony. And this Sony is actually broadcasting, which Sony I have on here? The 16 millimeter, okay, not Sony. What, all right, so this is Peter Gregg. This is at an arm's length at 16, that'd be me, okay? So this is what I look like over here. So why did I do all that? I'm gonna walk to that door. See that tree there? Okay, that silverish tree, there's a door behind it, okay? I'm gonna walk to that door and I will be on my way, all right? So let's go back to a normal camera. All right, so I got this camera set for everything to go off except the camera in 10 seconds. That's how you beat the overheating mode on the R6. So now I'm going to take a walk and I will describe, whatever you want to call it, to you what's happening and where I'm going. So now I'm on the Sony camera. If I pop here, okay, all right, that's the one I'm on. The Saramonic is not plugged in anymore, but it's wired up under my sheet, through my shirt, through my underwear and everything. Okay, t-shirt underwear, not those, all right? So now let's go. When I open this door, you'll hear bells. That doesn't mean you're dying or that an angel got its wings, okay? It means that the door is stuck, it needs to be sanded. So now I'm in the open doorway. You should sound perfectly fine. Now I'm in the old Christmas room. I'm walking across the old Christmas room. Do you remember where Jingles used to sit on the couch? Okay, I'm where he used to sit at the couch. So now it's not a direct line of sight anymore for the microphone. It's actually going through a partition, a 2x4 wall with drywall, okay? And this is the Sony. So now I'm at the kitchen doorway, and it's still, there's no blockage between me, the transmitter, and the receiver, which is sitting on the desk. at the Christmas room, where obviously you don't even see anybody right now because Peter's in the kitchen. So now I'm going to the refrigerator and I'm going to get some water. Okay, now I'm actually behind a concrete block wall. I'm past the entranceway into the kitchen. So this is the difference. I don't know what it is until I listen back. Okay, now I'm back in the big old Christmas room. There's no blockage. I'm going to step behind the garage door. All right, so who's been here? Sly's been here, Lewis has been here, Shane's been here, Jonathan's been here. So I am now behind 1, 2, 3 concrete block walls. Okay, so if you're hearing anything, hallelujah. All right, so now I'm back in the old Christmas room. You should be getting clear sound. Okay, so the UHF broadcast, let's close this door. All right, I'm in this room again. I'm gonna, somebody remind me to sand the damn door. Oops, shouldn't talk like that. All right, so I just came in. So I would say, hey, it's Peter, Gregg. Welcome to the Christmas room. Okay, so here we are. We are back in at the desk. Okay, so this is the mic that's running. So let's disconnect this mic and go back to the Saramonic. I'm using, it seems, the Saramonic quite a bit more. So I'm going to take this out of my pocket and I'm going to unplug the Sony and plug in the Saramonic. So hold your horses. Can't find a hole. No jokes. All right. So I am no longer on the Sony. So let's turn this guy off, save the batteries. And Lewis, Mr. Camera Junkie, taught me here. And that keeps it safe. Okay. And I'm going to turn this guy off, which is no longer plugged in. So now when I play this back or with your feedback, you could tell me in the kitchen behind the concrete block walls. Okay, so this is off. So that was for interference because of line of sight. So at the hall at where CES is in Las Vegas, Out of Spec Reviews was having terrible static problems on whatever microphone system he's on. Okay, so I kind of wanted to see what happened. So let's see. Maybe you guys have started to say, okay, you guys have been doing, okay, so let's start. All right, so let me take this. Let's go over here where I could sit down. I didn't tell you last week, but I got hurt pretty bad, and I was in bed for a whole week. Got hurt on Christmas Day, and I wanted to kind of not tell everybody because it'd be, oh, I hope you're feeling better. I did tell a few of you guys. Okay, I am now sitting in the story chair, okay? So I got a drop of water on my mouse. What a sloppy drinker. So let's say hi to the people that are here. Peter Gregg says, chat is now open to everyone. Well, it's a good thing I typed that. I don't remember doing it. Jim Monday, oh, that's the second. Jim Monday is the second time you've been first. What's in the water over there, Jim? Good to see you. I'm happy to see you. Louis Luzuka in Canada. Hi. And he's 3 hours behind me. Okay, so hello. Sly Reader. Happy Friday, everybody. She was upset because I told everybody I love them, but I didn't say I love her. I love you, Sly. I love you, Sly. I didn't realize I did that. Actually, I'm not going to lie. I did that on purpose because she's the only lady in here and I didn't want it to look weird, okay? So I thought I was doing something smart. Instead, I hurt her feelings. So she's the only one that gets I love you up until this part of the show because I might say it after. So she's the first one for tonight. There you go, Sly. I made up for it. I don't know if she's driving or what she's doing, but be careful. A lot of people watch this after the fact or listen to it like a radio. What do they call that when you podding? Not iPod. Whatever it is. And they listen to it like that. Like Sly was driving last week, and she was just listening to the sound and not really watching because she was driving. You can't watch Peter Gregg and drive at the same time. That's a formula for failure. But a lot of people will watch this when it's not live, but it's in the recorded mode. So they're watching it recorded. So the only difference is they can't make a live comment, but that you could put a chat. So if you're watching this and it's after the live show, you actually can put a comment. And Peter loves comments. Hello? Yes, he does. Peter loves comments. So make a comment if you're watching this after. Okay? So where did I leave off? Sly was saying hello to everybody. And Woody is here. Good evening to all. There's Woody. And hi, Woody. How are you doing? I love you, Woody, but you're number 2. I had to say that to Sly first this week. Okay, so Mr. Camera Junkie is here. Lewis. I wasn't here. I wasn't even in the house, okay? But he was live, I believe, for on New Year's Eve. You go, Lewis, Mr. Camera Junkie. And Dr. Charles Richard is here, our resident physician. So if anybody has a problem, pick up the phone and call Dr. Charles Richard. You don't know his number. So Tom is doing his hello, and he's pretty much in and out real quick. I don't know. I think he dates his wife on Friday nights now. So Tom is here. And Matt is here. Hello, Peter. We will be seeing the Panasonic in the Christmas room. That's not what he said. For people that read English, it's will we be seeing. Yeah, when B&H gets it, I will be getting the S5 because that's a camera I very much want to consider buying. So I will probably have to sell something to get that one because the credit cards are like right there. There's not even a glass ceiling. It's concrete ceiling. Okay. But you guys, not you guys, but the people that watch this afterwards have been donating. And I'm saving up for that camera. I like the Panasonic camera. I like Panasonic cameras in general. I just think they're the closest thing to operational wise to the Canon. But you get a lot of advantages with the Panasonic over the Canon. The very first and major thing is price. So to get into that R6 or the R6 Mark II, you need $2,500. You need $1,999, $2,000, okay, on the S5 Mark II. But I think I would buy the S5 Mark II X, $200 more. You get a few little more bells and whistles, which I like, okay? So one of the bells and whistles, you thought I was going to say ProRes, weren't you? I wasn't, even though it is, all right? You can plug in to the USB out on the S5 Mark II X, only on the X, not on the non-X, okay? And plug it directly into an SSD hard drive. You don't have to buy an Atomos, okay? You could just buy whatever you find on whatchamacallit, Amazon, B&H as an SSD hard drive. So you could not break, I'm reading Jim Mundy's comment. And so you can actually record directly into it. And then, of course, you get ProRes for those of us that do like ProRes. All right, no breakup or static, solid the whole time. Is you talking about the Saramonic? It didn't even break up when I went to the refrigerator and I was putting water in the cup? Well, okay, so then the big test on this Saramonic, which is hidden under my shirt, okay? So I've got it clipped under my shirt on my t-shirt. But I do have the wind fuzzy thing on there, okay? So that when I do this, if I decided to break out into a dance, you don't get all the scraping of the cloth, okay? So Jim says that the No breakup or static. The mic did really good, never a loss of signal. So it did very good. Okay, that is exceptional. It's better than what I expected, honestly. Okay, so I'm watching Kyle, Out of Spec Reviews, which is a channel on YouTube. He's full-time into mostly EV cars, okay? And when he went into places that had a lot of 2.4 stuff going on, from phones and stuff like that, he was popping and breaking up really bad, all right? So that's where the UHF should shine. So I'm surprised. Merry Christmas, Peter. Good evening, Greggies around the world. It is a balmy 36 degrees Fahrenheit in Toronto, where the winter snow lasted just long enough to provide a white Christmas, and then it disappeared. So the weather, no matter what the weather is, if it's too much rain or too much cold or too much heat and too much dry, it is climate change. Climate change is the scapegoat for everything, okay? It doesn't matter. I bumped my little toe, climate change. I hurt my back, which I did on Christmas, climate change, okay? So in Toronto, we got our weather report that it is a balmy 36 degrees. 36 for here, Norm, would be actually very cold for me. It would be dual or, no, it would be 3-layer clothing. So I'd be wearing my underclothes, I'd be wearing overclothes, and unless I was going somewhere, I would be wearing my full length all the way to my toes cotton robe, bathrobe. Very heavy, it actually probably weighs 10 pounds, bathrobe. Because it's the wind. The wind just blows right through and gets to my bones. I don't know how to explain it. You guys can deal with it up there. I can't really deal with it at all, okay? So the wind just cuts right through me. So MDM says, hey, Peter, did you get rid of the Rode mics? No, they're hanging right there. I don't like them. I will make a video on them because I have it here, and so that gives me the opportunity to make a video on the Rode mics. Once you get them dialed in, okay, let me just say this, because I sound like I'm very negative on the Rode mic. I'm negative on the initial experience. Once I got the Rode mic dialed in, and I could remember what goes where, the Rode mic does pretty well. So I'm not bashing the Rode mic as bad as it sounds. I was disappointed because I do review a lot of crap, okay? People send me stuff all the time. 80% of it never makes it on. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to say who, because this is actually a little bit insulting to them. I did a video on an item they sent me, and they got on my case in a very nasty, aggressive way, making demands. So this happened to me once before, where I did a video and I showed something, and somebody else said they showed it first and they should get the credit. And if they didn't get the credit, they were going to do bodily harm to me, the kids, and to Jingle Bells at that time. And this wasn't a joke. Eventually, we did have to call the police, okay? It got extremely serious. They claimed that they showed something first. So being the kind of personality that I am, the very first time that they wrote, I showed this first, and I should get the credit. So I responded, I'm glad you showed it. Let me put a link to your channel. So I put a link to their channel on my description. That so-and-so showed it, and so did I. This is great. I like to help YouTubers. I got to get some water, guys. Give me a second. I left the cup over here. Okay. All right, so let's sit down. I have to put my back up in the pillow, okay? Okay. So after that, I put their link in the description. They wrote back and they made demands, like a hostage situation, okay? I want A, B, C, D, okay, and probably more. And that if you don't do this, there will be hell to pay, Okay, they worded it with more cuss words. So it was a difference in the demeanor from the first time they wrote me to the second time. Okay, then they started sending me emails and comments. You know, where you say, put a comment in the down below. Okay, every hour on the hour that this many minutes have passed and you have not met my demands. They wanted me to redo the video. They wanted to for me to publicly apologize. They wanted, you know, when you put something on the bottom, down here, okay, telling their website and saying that I stole it from them. This was their demands. Now, if it was true, it would be one thing, but it wasn't true, okay? I pay attention to sound. We just did a sound thing right now, okay? So I took the little mic which I was clipping on my shirt at that time, and I wanted to show the sound that was happening on a lens, because you could hear the motor of the lens as it was focusing, like the Nikon is doing now, okay? I could hear it, but you can't hear it, all right? And I took my mic off and put it so you could hear it. Boom, all hell broke loose, okay? So then this person started to put it in Facebook groups that I was a horrible, horrible person, that I was stealing stuff from them, and so on and so forth. So the company itself, so if it was Nikon, like I just mentioned the noise in the Nikon, the people that actually worked at the Nikon reps and everything, they started coming to my defense, okay? So what happened was actually very juvenile, very, very simplistic. One of the people that watch me, like Norm or Lewis or Mark, MDM, okay, made a comment. Does the mic, you know, pick up the noise from the lens? Can you show us? And I'm thinking, I could show you that. Heck, I'm Gregg. I love to play with microphones. Okay, so I showed it. Well, this person started, so this went out on a Monday. So on a Tuesday, I started getting threats against me personally, okay? And they posted it in Facebook groups that Gregg was doing such and such. So I got the people that wanted to defend this person coming and attacking me. So that was Tuesday, all right? So Wednesday, it took on a life of its own, and these people started to threaten your kids, my kids, which I don't have kids, but I've got the grandkids. My girlfriend at that time had her kids, and it frightened her, okay? So now you're threatening children, right? So Thursday, they said they were going to come and kidnap Jingles and dismember him. Getting serious, right? To me, it's serious. If you're laughing, it wasn't a laughing matter. Okay, so that was Thursday. And then on Friday, they tried to take my channel down, because this was a time when YouTube was going through the children thing, that you could be sued, you could be fined $15,000 if you don't say it's for children and stuff. So they started calling me names that you would call people that wanted to do bad things to kids in constant messages, okay? And at that time, I wasn't smart enough to know to put those words in the ban list, all right? I was still, you know, learning that stuff. So they tried to take the channel down. So my girlfriend said she wasn't coming here no more, okay? So unless I called the police and blah, blah, blah. So we called the police, long story short, until this gentleman or one of his junkies actually harmed me or killed me. There's nothing they could do. They actually have to make good on their threat before they do anything. And I can see the reason. What are they going to do? Park a police car here and take up all that manpower? So that was my experience with meanness, okay, on you know, on YouTube. It frightened me at that time. Now it doesn't frighten me. I don't think people are going to fly in. Oh, we had genuine YouTubers that actually made videos about me. And you know how they have like a court? Well, here Peter says this. You could see it in his face. He was clearly lying. I was watching it. I was cracking up laughing. Okay. You could see that Peter was clearly lying. All right. And they were like, they put me on trial. And I'm really green behind the ears at this time. Now, you know, God made those fingers, and there's one that's a little longer than the others. That one's a special finger, okay? It's made for special circumstances. Plus, I have all of you, and I would just say, hey guys, I need some protection, and I think you guys would be a team to step up and protect me and scare the living shit out of those people. But I didn't have you at that time, okay? So that's the story of my getting threatened. I don't know what brought me there. Norm is saying, Peter, have you tried the Sony stereo lav mic? Yes, it was terrible. Okay, the one that it goes out those directions. Okay, it's like a T. I got it right away. Not worth it. So if you haven't tried it, don't spend the money. Now I do have the Rode stereo mic that goes in the hot shoe, and that sucker is absolutely awesome. So instead of a shotgun mic that you put in your hot shoe, Rode has, it looks like a ball, like a snowball. It's black, it's not white. And I do have that. I used it Christmas. I took the R6 for Christmas with me and used it, and I was a happy camper. Okay. Mark says it was fuzz when you were at Jingles. Which mic was that, Mark? And when you went behind the concrete wall. That's what I would expect. The concrete wall blocks lavalier mics. It's not really meant for it. But I did that many months ago, so I wanted to kind of comprehend and see. So Slow, or otherwise her nickname is Sly, said the Sony was more static than the Saramonic. So the Sony actually did worse through the walls, okay? So now it makes me interested in doing a distance test, okay? So the only place that I actually was able to do the static test was when I did another brand, which I'm not going to say their names because none of you are going to buy that brand, okay? And in the kitchen. So in the kitchen, I can't focus the GH4. The focus on Panasonic suck until the S5. Now it's the king of the hill. It's one of the best focus systems out there. You go from worst to best in one swoop, okay, in one day, all right? So the way I focus the GH4, which is on the ceiling, I mounted it to the ceiling, is I use my cell phone. And if I'm holding up a steak, I tap on the cell phone, put the steak under the GH4, tap on the cell phone, it focuses and stays. So when I take the steak away and I want to do cutting of the steak and it's back on the counter, I tap on the cell phone. All right, so the cell phone connects to the GH4 with the 2.4 connection. And this other brand of mic, static. The GH4 was interfering. So I'm going to have to take the Saramonic, which is under my shirt, okay, and put that in the kitchen, bring it to the kitchen and try it and see what happens, okay? So that's where we are. We're up to here. So Jim Monday, a bit of static, just passing, Jingle's spot on the couch. A little more static at the refrigerators. Static by the garage door. Now by the garage door, I go out this door, I make a right turn. So you guys that have been here, and you go downstairs into actually another old Christmas room. You think I'm making this up, right? But it's not true. There's another Christmas room, but there's no Christmas tree in there. Okay, in the other Christmas room next to it, the Christmas tree is up right now because of Christmas, okay? So that one is got 3 concrete block walls. So it's like if I went to your house, it's that bad. All right, and I expected that, but I did that for myself because I know where I'm walking, and I know what I'm listening for, but I won't be able to pay attention until probably Sunday when they do a whatchamacallit, the reprocessing of this live show. Okay, so Louis Luzuka, who is in Canada. How's Grandma? How's Granny? New Year's. Happy New Year, everybody. Peter, you look amazing. That's a nice thing to say. And this slow mode is exactly what I need. Oh, thank you, Lewis. I forgot about that. Simon, ordinary filmmaker, taught me a couple of things. Okay. One of them is that I could set it so only subscribers can actually make a live chat comment. See, I have this people that's got girls, #69, and they put all these bad things there, and then I have to go and ban them, okay? So he taught me that I could turn it on so only people that are actually subscribers can make a comment. And then he showed me that I could put a delay on there. They had to be a subscriber for 1 day, 1 month, or no time limit, meaning you could subscribe and comment, okay? So Simon says he uses that in his live streams to get people to subscribe. And when they subscribe, he said almost nobody goes and unsubscribes, okay? So they subscribe, and he uses that tool to build up his subscribers. So I turned that on. So in order to make a comment is subscribe. But I did see a slow mode, okay, which I didn't know was there. Meaning a person can't put a comment more than one, oh, I forgot. I think more than one every 30 seconds or every 60 seconds, okay? So, Lewis, I bet that burned your butt, right? I didn't even think of you. So, it will stop somebody from hammering. Hey, Peter, next comment. How are you, Peter? Next comment. You look handsome. Peter, I love you. So that's Lewis, right? I wasn't aimed at you, Lewis, but I like it, to be honest with you, because if they get past the subscriber, they can't rapid fire, you know, what is it, pray and spray with the porn things all at once. That's what I was thinking, Lewis. I promise. It wasn't aimed at you, sweetheart. I love you. You know I love you, and I've talked to you on the phone. I wanted to call you. I did call you. Actually, you didn't answer the phone. So Lewis doesn't like me anymore. Whatever. Okay, Lewis. All right for you. And Peter, what's your New Year's resolution? Well, it's an everyday resolution to listen and obey the Lord. Remember, I'm a Christian guy, so I'm not going to obey another faith. Okay, what's the point? I'm in this one. So be obedient and try to be pleasing to the Lord. Okay, so part of Christianity is that your sins are forgiven. That's what he did on the cross. He paid for all your sins. So if you don't know anything about Christianity, don't watch and listen to the movies. Don't watch and even listen to a lot of preachers. They'll tell you stuff that just ain't true, okay? Jesus died a painful death. He wasn't shot, okay? He didn't go to the electric chair. He was nailed with his hands to a cross and his feet, okay? And he was alive, and he stayed there for 6 hours. That's how long it took for him to die. And while he was on the cross, this is what Christianity teaches, true Christianity, okay? He is called the Lamb of God. So if you're into Judaism, which is the first really major religion, all right, that I know of, there could have been others, okay? Judaism God instilled a covenant with the Jewish people. And Judaism taught the family, the head of the family, one time a year to take a lamb. And this lamb, a real life lamb, okay? So, but the lamb had to be without spot, without any blemishes. It had to be perfect, okay? And then they would keep the lamb at their house for a month or two. The kids would get to like the lamb, hug the lamb. It's the lambs are the little ones, okay? And then they would take it and the family, and they'd go to the priest, the high priest of their area. Okay, so the priest didn't examine the man. The man came because he had sin. So the priest didn't say, you know, the rabbi wasn't a priest, okay, but they called him the high priest, okay? And the priest would bring the lamb, okay? Then they would have a service, a ceremony, a tradition, a ritual, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and the man would take his hand and he would lay his hand on the head of the lamb. And then the rabbi would say a prayer, and I don't know, maybe the guy said a prayer too. and the sins of the man and his family were transferred through his hand into this perfect and approved lamb. So the lamb was approved by the high priest. Now, the righteousness or the perfectness of the lamb was transferred to the man for 1 year, okay? A year later, he had to do it again. So when the man walked away, but wait, there was more. Then they would kill the lamb, okay? Animal, protectors hate that part, all right? And then they would cut the lamb up and they would roast it and eat it, all right? So now God instilled that into Judaism, and they did that for thousands of years until they stopped with the slaying of the lamb, okay? All right, but now Jesus came and he's called the Lamb of God. So when it came time to sacrifice a lamb, God didn't bring a lamb, that kind of lamb. He brought his son. And Jesus was put on the cross. And while he was on the cross, all the sins, this is what Christianity says. This is just for you to learn. This is not where I'm preaching to you or trying to convert you. It's your choice. You want to come to Christianity? Do it. Okay? It's between you and God, not between you and any priest or you and any person. Billy Graham, the Pope, nobody's got anything between you and God. It's between you and God. You want to receive Jesus and his work that he did on the cross as your lamb, as your payment for sins? It's between you and God. So don't listen to these preachers where they go, I heard from God, if you send in $1,000 in the next 10 minutes, that is bullshit to the max, okay? Jesus already paid it. He died, and he took the sins. That's what Christianity teaches, all right? So that is what we've got going. You want to participate in that? It's just like if you want to participate in my cookies, you want to participate in my chocolate fudge, you want to participate in my Christmas bread, okay, there's ways to do it. Well, if I want to participate in Christianity, I receive Jesus as my lamb, okay, and then all my sins are paid. And this is where all hell breaks loose. Because you've got the naysayers in Christianity. It's like the Democrats and the Republicans. They can't get together at all. Okay? Well, you've got groups in Christianity can't get together at all. Oh, well, Peter, if you teach that, you're giving them a license to sin. I guess those guys aren't married. So if you got a marriage license, you don't have a license to sin against your wife, she'll straighten your ass right out. Okay? You be sleeping on the couch, buddy. Okay? Or you won't be even sleeping in the house, all right? So being in a new family by being in Christ, all right, is not a license to sin. It's as stupid as saying the world is square. If you got people in here that believes the world is square, that's between you and your brain, all right? Got nothing to do with me, all right? So that's my resolution, is to be a better Christian, Lewis, but it doesn't mean I'm trying not to sin. I do try not to sin. I don't want to tell lies. I actually feel guilty if I tell a lie. All right? It's just built into me. All right? So it's, I want to be more pleasing. Like you want to be more pleasing to your wife or to your husband. You want to be more pleasing to your parents. You want to be more pleasing to your grandparents. You could try to do that to be a better person, all right? I want to be more pleasing to God. That's my New Year's resolution, Lewis. You asked, you started this, so if you guys don't like it, you can pick on Lewis. Here, I'll prove it. I'll write in court. I would say, Peter, what's your New Year's resolution 2023? So I was provoked into that, okay? So Sly says, Peter, thank you. Love you too, bro. I know what you're doing. Sammy, my favorite Sammy is here. Hello, everybody. I love you too, Sammy. Yes, Peter always sees the comments. I do. I like reading the comments. This show plays, again, after it's done. You guys know how Livestream works. I watch it to see where I screwed up. That's how I found out that my colors were all effed up, okay? And all the colors have been redone. All the lighting has been redone. All the colors have been redone. Okay? And Sammy is correct. I do see the comments. Some of them is like, they'll ask questions like, I like the, this is something I'll say. I like the Panasonic S5 Mark II. I didn't like the focus system that they had in all the Panasonics until this new one. This new one makes me want to buy the camera, okay? So the new one makes me want to buy the camera, and I'll get a quote. Peter, do you feel like you want to buy this camera? What does that tell you? They're not listening, okay? So I don't really answer those. Norm. Oh, Norm, you've got to follow up on this, buddy. All right, big guy? The slow mode is strange. I don't know what that means. So it makes me want to correct whatever the problem is, okay? So because I know you guys, you got my back. You're not there to give me a low blow below the belt, okay? So I need to know, why is it strange? So what the slow mode is, the way it was explained before I turned it on, is you can't make 5 comments in a row. There's a time, like a cool off period, okay? So like I said before, it's these people come in with their hashtag 69, PM me or whatever the word is, and we have these people, and I get like 5 in a row. So they got some kind of a computer that's just hammering me with comments. So I thought I was going to be eliminating that. But if it's hurting you, Norm, I need to know why. You can either say it here, or you can send me an email. You're not allergic to email, are you, Norm? PeterGreggOnline@AOL.com. All right, Sammy says, I hear it's better autofocus. Yeah, talking about the S5 Mark II, it's perfect autofocus. Oh, you want to see the autofocus compared to the, I'm running Sony's, right? Where is the thing? No, I'm running a Z6 right now. But this is the Nikon Z6. If I switch over when I stand up at the Christmas desk, I'm running Sony's and Nikon's. All right, so you see the autofocus. I like it enough to where that's the cameras I'm running. All right. Well, Shane at Geeky Nerdy Tecky is running Sony's also. He's got the A7S Mark III, $3,500 camera. He's got the FX3. Is that a $3,800 camera? He's got the FX30. I think it's an $1,800 or $1,900 camera. He's got the GH6, all right, which is the Micro Four Thirds camera. And he's got the S5, the original one, the Mark I. And he's got the S5 Mark II. And he made a video. That's the video to go watch, because I've watched all the other videos. Well, I can't say that. That's a stupid sentence. I didn't watch all of the other videos, but I watched a lot of the other videos, okay? And the one that actually came through with the information properly, there's no slant, okay, is Shane, all right? And he's at Geeky Nerdy Tecky. So to help you to go watch that, I put a link to it in the description. So you can go to the actual video that Shane made at Geeky Nerdy Tecky, and you can watch if you have an interest in this camera. By the way, Louis Lazuka, that's the new camera for you if you can afford $19.99, okay? Bar none. Now, if you can't afford the $19.99, that's when we introduce other cameras, like a $700 camera, okay, like the E10. All right, so you could buy 3, yeah, that's $2,100, right? You could buy 3 $700 cameras for that for the $2,000 camera. But the $2,000 S5 Mark II is going to move you to the head of the batch. You'll have bragging rights. You'll have one of the best cameras on the market. There's always going to be people out there that are not going to like it, okay? Not everybody likes chocolate ice cream, all right? Not everybody likes chocolate chip cookies, but it's a given that it's a crowd favorite. So the S5 Mark II is my #1 camera choice, period. So you can put that on your list, Louis Lazuka. Because I know you're in the saving money mode. All right, let's see. Where are we? Sammy says, I hope you feel better with the back. Sammy, that's why I'm sitting in the chair a lot more, because my back hurts a lot when I stand up. All right, so I didn't tell you the story. It's a short story. Went to Christmas, took the R5, took videos. I bent down somewhere along the line to pick up some Christmas packages, and something, I'm not going to say what, caused me to stand up quickly while I was bent over. Well, instead of standing erect, to get a word that guys like to hear, okay, I turned as I stood, and I twisted the whole lower level of my back, okay? Okay, now we're on the right camera. So right across my back, like a belt, lower back above my butt, but below the rib cage, okay? It's like a belt, which is, I guess, why they wear those hernia belts. All right, so that is like I sprained it. So I was kind of stuck like this, okay? If we were on a wider camera, you would see me bent over like this, okay? So Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was bedridden. Thursday afternoon, I was able to get up a little bit, and Thursday I did the live show, but I was over in that chair, that one. Okay, now you don't see it here. Okay, so that's what happened with the back. I'm doing much better. I'm standing, praise the Lord. I thank my God, Jesus, that I'm feeling better. That's who I prayed to. Okay. Norm says, I avoid lav mics. They pick up my asthmatic wheezing. There's a different angle, Norm. Good point. More than a handheld mic. Well, if the handheld mic is a dynamic mic, so if I switch to the handheld mic, and now, listen, I'm going to be quiet for a second. So the air conditioner is on, and all these bubble lights are on. So I've got like 3 aquarium tanks running, and I've got the air conditioner. But who was it? I think it was Shane. Because he said he's made like 30 albums. So we did a little bit of studying, and I actually have a noise gate on here. So if I'm quiet, I'm going to be quiet for 5 seconds. Okay, so now, without that noise, and by the way, I turned the noise gate off, not just now, but we turned off the noise gate and we turned on something else instead, where it's actually where you can, set the sliders. So now, this is the way it sounds. But on the singing mic, there isn't a noise gate. So I'm going to switch over to the singing mic. Well, hello, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All right, so now I turned off the reverb. Yeah, it's the white pot. Okay, so I turned off the reverb, but because it's a dynamic mic and not a condenser mic, you get no noise and there's no noise gate. So this should actually sound more natural. Okay, now I don't want you slamming the lav mics, okay? But if I were to hold this all the time, I've got enough cord on here where I can actually walk around in the room. Okay, so I can come back here to the Christmas tree and just hold the mic and talk to you, all right? But to hold the mic for an hour, it gets tiring, to be honest with you. So now I'm not in it because that camera is pointed over there where this hand is. Hello? Okay. All right. The other ones are pointed over here. All right. So this is what a dynamic mic is. So if I'm quiet here for 5-10 seconds, that's what you hear. So if I come back here, all right, this is what the bubble sounds like, the bubble machine. Okay, you hear them? So the dynamic mic, dynamic is a type of mic, okay? You've got a different kinds of mic. This mic doesn't require electricity to run. It plugs directly into my soundboard, which you guys can see. For those of you that are paying attention, you'll see a soundboard over here. That's a Yamaha. What is it? It's a Yamaha MW12CX. Did that matter to anybody? I didn't think so. All right. So now if I go back, all right, first let me put the reverb back on so that if I come back and I want to sing, it doesn't sound dry. This is what I sound dry. But if I turn the reverb back on, I sound like I'm in the hall, and that's what it is. I'm singing a song to you. Okay, so now I'm back on the lav mic, okay? So this is what the lav mic, and I do have a sound limiter of some type here. So when I'm quiet, you don't hear the air conditioner. I no longer have to run this show without the air conditioner. Okay? So Norm made a really interesting point. People that have asthma. Okay? So we've been up for an hour. So yes, I am trying to limit the show to an hour. Not because I want to get off, because I have actually done a 7.5-hour show, okay, but because the reruns, when the people that watch it after you and I are gone, okay, they're not gonna join in on a 2-hour show. I mean, I don't even join in on a 2-hour show. So an hour show, people go, I can watch a little bit of that. So that's why. All right, so I'm just going to read out loud some of the comments now. Lewis says, so you don't recommend the Rode wireless? No, I really don't. What about the DJI wireless? I never had them in here, but you know who's got some hands-on experience? Tom Buck. Okay. And you know who's got a variety of mics? Sly. Sly Reader. Where is she? She's over here somewhere. I just saw her name. Lewis, look into the 7RYMS. It's supposed to be the latest and the greatest. Okay. So that's why I said she's got some actual things to share. All right. So Sammy says, tell me the brand. The brand, I want to know. This is Saramonic. This is what you're listening to right now, is Saramonic. When I left the room the second time, it was the Sony. There's a link to that in the description. I don't have a link to the Saramonic. I think it's only a week or two old. But I think I need to put a link in there. Okay. So Jim says, to be clear, only static I observed was on the Sony. The Saramonic was clear the whole time. Good. So when I play this back, guess what, Jim? I will be paying attention to that. All right. So I don't know. Somebody sent me a gift certificate for B&H. So I might use that and buy the Saramonic for myself using that gift certificate that I got for my birthday. Ahem, ahem. You guys are not on the inside joke. So if you don't know what I just said, don't even worry about it. Sammy, why would you need a lav like the G4? Okay, what content are you actually doing that you need a fancy mic like that? You can use a $30 one. The reason I'm using a lav mic is I'm in the kitchen. My hands, I'm cutting, dicing, slicing. Okay, so I've always used the Sony. It's the only one I owned. So it's not like I had a choice of lav mics. Okay, so some people sent me a lav mic. They said, can we send you a lav mic so you could test? All right. And I said, of course, send it to me. So they did. All right. And it worked nice in here. I have some complaints with it. All right. But I don't, when people send me something to review, if I don't like it, I don't review it. Or if I don't catch something, I don't mention their negatives. Okay. So I did use that, the one that they sent me as, for a review unit in the kitchen, because I used it in here. And finally, I was going to go carve up a steak or something. Well, it actually had, excuse me, pops and crackles all through the show, enough for the people that watch my kitchen channel were telling me, your microphone has got a lot of static. I mean, these people are people that cook. So they didn't know what was happening. They just saw it as static. So I tried to find out what was the reason for the static. Where was it coming from? And if I turned off the GH4 camera, there was no static. If I turned the GH4 camera on, there was static. Voila! My lightning fast mind figured out it must be the GH4 camera. Okay. So when Shane came, he came here with his mic set, and I asked him if he had a static problem with his lav mic, and he had, at that time, the Rode. I think he still does have the Rode, but I think he prefers the Saramonic, okay, which is why I tried the Saramonic. And he said he has no static problems with the Saramonic, okay. It's called Create Contest First. Again, that's Sammy, Bo Sammy, Banana. Lewis says, actually, Peter, I need your phone number. Again, I got a new phone. All right, so how do we connect up? Is it the same phone number? If it's the same phone number, I'll just send you a message. If you have a new phone number, Lewis, that means I can't reach you, okay? Peter, Lewis says, I'm not avoiding you. Yes, you are. You don't like me anymore, and you're avoiding me. You don't like me anymore, Lewis. Oh, my God, I'm going to have to say my prayers at night. No, I didn't know you got a new phone. So he says he appreciates me. I appreciate you more than you know. I have a very high respect for you. So you guys see Lewis, right? He comes in, and it's like 400 comments in a row. He can't contain himself. That's because he really likes me a lot. He loves me, okay? But I wasn't aiming at you when I put that 60-minute thing on there. 60-second, it's not 60 minutes. I think I can adjust that. So I don't know how to work that. Simon's the one that just got me into setting up some of these parameters. So this is the first night that I'm actually doing that. Sammy says, you have a cool off time, so no more spamming. That's what I'm thinking, Sammy, okay? Lewis says, I don't mind the slow mode. I just have to write longer comments. That's a good one. All right, Lewis, you got me. Lewis, I don't mind you making the comments, sweetheart. Honestly, I don't, okay? But I do mind it when I get spammed with all these porn sites. That bothers me, okay? You know, so Sammy says the E10 is a great $700 camera, but the ZF-1 for $400 is a little great camera that I tested out, and it's amazing. Okay, so I haven't tested that one. Where are you? Over there. Okay. So Sammy says, I was just wondering, Peter recommended it because I love the sound. Doesn't mean I'll buy it tomorrow, but you're right. That's the way to look at things. You could like it and not have to run out and buy it. So you're right, Lewis. Good boy. Good boy, Lewis. The question is, what content are you going to make? I wanted to ask you that question to Sammy and to everybody. I want to make a lot more comment on the big channel. So you guys have been around me for, I was going to say, years. Some of you are newer. Some of you have been here for years. What kind of content? I'm not asking you, listen, turn your ears on so you can hear me, okay? I'm not asking you what you like. I'm asking you as a coach, what content do you think gets received the best on my big channel? I want to make more of that. Do you think that making content on Canon, it's not going to be strictly, I can't just do all one thing. Nobody's a one topic person. Okay, so what content do you think, if you were coaching me, okay, so I'm not asking you what you like, I'm asking you to coach, all right? And if you're watching this after the live show, you can make that comment under the video, where the comments are, all right? So what content do you think I should be making? That's an honest question. And you guys, a lot of you, if not most of you, have channels. So I'm asking for you to get your feedback. Don't dump me in the darkness, okay? Tell me if you have to think about it for a while. All right, think about it, then come back and add a comment after the show's over. Hey, Rob, love you. Happy New Year, buddy. Hi, all. Peter, I hope you all had a fantastic new year, cooking dinner, so I can't chat much. I know how that goes. You need a GH4 on your ceiling. However, listening in the background and watching the replay tonight, wishing you all the best. And that is how a lot of people watch this. It becomes through like a podcast. That's the word I was looking for before. Okay? You don't have to watch me. I'm sitting in the ding-dong chair. All right? Now, if I was flying around the room, or if I was flying, those drones, okay, you might want to be glued to your TV. But for most of you, just sitting and listening to Peter in your ear, that's perfectly fine. When I watch this over, many times I lay in my bed and just listen, okay? Sometimes I want to see how did the transition from one camera go to the other. Well, I can't watch that with my ears. I actually have to watch it with my eyes. All right, so I'm so happy to see you, Rob. I'm happy to see you, Mark. I wish I would have spent a little more time, giving you some more love, because I do appreciate you guys. Raymond, I haven't seen you in a while. If you're listening to this after the fact, I wish you a happy new year, buddy. I love you. And Carlos, Motivated Minds, I love you. I feel like I might be missing on some people, so that's why I say I love all of you guys, okay? So Lewis says, it's my first time having 3 camera lenses, Peter. Those focal lengths are really fun to play with. Yeah, they are. So Sly says, Lewis, this is to Lewis. Yolanzi makes a lav mic for the iPhone. It's $43 at B&H. And if you go through Peter's link, he'll get 3 cents. You're right. I don't get a lot of money, but when you guys go to buy something, if you use my link, or, this is important, anybody else's link in our family. So like Mr. Camera Junkie has links. Tom Buck has links. I don't know who has links, so I don't want to miss it. But check their channel. If they have a link, use mine first, because I kind of have a liking to me. All right? But if you, let's say you don't like me, or you like somebody else a lot, use their links. You only get a few cents or a few bucks, okay? Hey, you want to hear something interesting? Somebody bought the Canon R3. Well, how much is that? A $6,000 camera? And they used my link. And I think I got $35 or $40. I was shocked. Okay, I'm not going to name names because I don't really know who bought it. They don't list who buys things. So if you think your privacy is being violated, I get a list of what's bought. So if you buy something weird, like a Canon R3 or a Canon R1, and you tell me, hey, Peter, I bought an R1, and then I see it that it was bought, I'll know it was you. Okay? So I use different people here when I buy stuff. So I use Lewis, I use Aaron Short, I use Tom Buck. It's where I just kind of rotate, okay? So that's how you give them a little love, and without it costing you, you're throwing them a few bucks their way, okay? Okay, where am I? Sammy says the lav mic was not for you. I use it all the time. It's like 99%. So you're gonna have to clear that up. Jim, Bo Jim, Banana Nana, Bo Jim. Peter, I think you're a great teacher. I'd love content that helps amateur photographers and amateur videographers like me grasp some of the more complex topic. Well, how about a simplistic topic, okay? Here's what I was thinking. I did a video that's rated very high, but I want to refresh it. So there's no law that says I can't revisit an old video. So this video is like 6, 7, 8 years old. All right, so if you're in a room that's got fluorescence, or you're using fluorescent lighting, or if you're using lighting and you're getting kind of like a wave and stuff, do you know how to handle that? I wanted to make a video that shows that the electricity in the United States runs at what's called 60 hertz. So what does that mean? All right, it's very simple. You're looking at a light bulb and you say, the light bulb is on, Jim. The light bulb is on, Sammy, but it's not. The light bulb is going on and off 60 times per second. Did you know that? The light bulb is going on 60 times per second. The fluorescents are retubing 60 times per second. Did you know that? All right. Now, if you're in Europe, like Andrea, okay? In Europe, you're on a 50 hertz electrical cycle. Your light bulbs are going on 50 times a second. So if you run a shutter speed higher than 1/60th of a second, you could catch the off moment of the light bulb or the off moment of the fluorescent tube. So when you see a fluorescent lighting, you need to drop, if you're in the United States, you need to drop your shutter speed below 1/60th of a second. 160, 130, if it's pictures, 150, anything below 160. If you're in Europe and you're on a 50 hertz, you need to be at 50, or below. So there's your lesson for today. I want to remake that video. Do you think that would be an upsetting thing to do? Okay. All right. So there you go. So Sam is, I'm not roasting you, Louis. I want to help you save money. I will use your link. Thank you. Thank you for whoever uses my link. I do appreciate it. Okay, so Sam is talking to Louis, and Sammy says, what I was trying to say, they are better lav mics for cheaper. Louis, good. You know what, Sammy? Make a video. People want to know. Talk about some things that people can actually buy that you approve of. Because if I had to tell you right off the bat what lav mics the Sammy Superstar approve, I don't know. So there's a suggestion for a video right there. Okay. Sammy says, oh, I saw that video the other day. I watched it, and it was very helpful. How come it didn't pop up when I clicked on it? There it is. I was looking at a fluorescent studio light, and it worked after the video. There you go. The light is actually a fluorescent light tube, okay? This is a little more technical than people want to know, okay? Starts here and ends here. All right, a fluorescent light doesn't light up the tube all at once. It starts here and it goes bzzz, like all the way across. So it's lighting up all the way across at 60 hertz. It takes 1/60th of a second to light up the whole tube. So you might catch this part of the tube lit up, or you might catch this part of the tube lit up. But if you watch it in a video instead of a still picture, it looks like it's rolling, okay? Because your eye can't see that. So you slow your shutter speed to 1/60th of a second. It can be slower, but don't forget, on video, you want to be at a multiple of what your P is. So look at your P, okay? So if you're at 30p, you want to be at a multiple of 30. 30, 60, 90, 120, okay? So if you're at 60, you can, the fluorescent lighting will work for you fine. Some of the fluorescent lighting for photo cheat. They actually run a little faster. So if you're seeing that from happening, slow your shutter speed down. Here's Raymond. I was just talking about you. Hi, Peter. For once, I'm actually home on a Friday night. How were the holidays for you? They were wonderful. And I thank you for coming and saying hello. You guys are like family, okay? That's why I wanted to stop all that other crap from coming in, because there's some actual younger people. I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth, but it's things that I wouldn't want my kids to see, and I don't want your kids to see either. Okay, so ordinary filmmaker. I absolutely love and adore Liam, who's his 8-year-old boy. Well, Liam is a critic. He'll get on the phone. This is what you did wrong, Peter. This is what you did wrong. So at 8 years old, I don't want him exposed to that crap. Okay. Here's Daniel Patrick. Here we go. Dan. How you doing, Danny? Hey, Peter. All right. See, in red, if you got a channel, that's where it would be. The red right there. If he doesn't, don't worry about it. I had a question regarding the Canon R7. Have you tried using the wireless live stream feature yet? If so, how did that work out? I did not use the live stream feature on the R7. Okay, and the Panasonic S5 Mark II X model will allow you to live stream directly from the camera, okay, where the S5 Mark I, which there is none, it's just S5 Mark II, okay, but the X model will allow you to live stream. I didn't use that. You know why? I don't have anywhere to really receive it. So my workflow, Dan, is it goes from the camera, okay. I can show this now because I got the R6 and I got the R6 plugged in. Okay, let me actually embarrass myself real quick. All right, which means I don't know how to work this part all that well, but this is something new, and thank you to Randy. All right, so if I come over and I turn on, okay, hi, see, look. This be Peter. Okay, now it'll take a second to focus on me. All right, so we got wires. I don't know how far I can go with this, Dan. Okay, so the wires come out of a camera. So let's say it comes out of that camera. Okay, so it comes out from the HDMI port, and then it travels down. All right, and it goes down, down, down through all this Sly. I don't want to hear nothing from you. She yells at me for my cable management. Okay, so now it goes down to this unit right here. Okay, so this unit allows me to plug in four, I don't know how close I can get, 4 HDMI 4K cables. Now, from there, all right, it comes out, it goes down underneath the carpet. Yes, you can see my toes. Okay, goes under this carpet, and it comes around, and it goes right over here to this, what is this? A Mac Mini M1. Okay, so that's the Mac Mini M1. And now, how do I get back to my regular cameras? It's a blank screen. Let's go up to the E10. Okay, so I use this, and this is because of Randy. Okay. To show you, it comes out of an HDMI plug right here, which is why I make comments that it's the mini HDMI. Well, those things break. So the new Panasonic S5 Mark II and the Mark II X have a full-size HDMI port, like the back here. Let me go back here again. Okay. All right. So how do I get back there? I will learn how to work this stuff eventually. So here's my ATM Mini. So these are the full size, okay? So I can, if I can get it to focus, so I can plug and unplug all day long, all right? So I can also pick from camera 1, all right? Where is it? Camera 1, 2, 3, 4, all right? Now there's nothing plugged into 2, 3, and 4, and what you're looking at right now is plugged into 1. All right, so let's get back. Come on. There we go. All right, so this camera is plugged in with this plug, okay? So if I were to do wireless, I'm not set up to receive wireless in this entire system. So if you think I'm trying to be funny by saying, no, I didn't try this, that's the reason. There's a flow. So the flow that you just saw happens with up to 8 cameras. So I have a card, okay, and that card where you saw, I could plug into 4 cameras at 4K in that card. That card is connected directly to the Mac Mini, the M1. It's the cheapest one you can get. All right, Dan? All right, so if I need to add more, I will plug them into the ATM Mini, which I can add 4 more cameras. I can have 8 cameras running here. 4 of them will be 4K. 4 of them will be 1080, because the Mac Mini only goes up to 1080, okay? But Ecamm is upping it to 4K. So unless I actually announce that, people don't know that that's happening. Okay, so that's why I haven't tried that type, all right? I'm going through the trouble of explaining it because normally somebody that's reviewing a camera will show you what it does, and I haven't showed that part because I have no way to make it happen, all right, without redoing this system. And I don't have the gumption to redo my system, okay? So I'm not being cheap on you, but that's the way that I see it. So where did I leave off? It was Dan. Okay, so Dan had that question regarding the R7. So the way it would work, by the way, is you would have to make it receive in a computer of some type to receive that signal, okay, like a wireless signal. And you need to set things up for that to happen. So kind of like Bluetooth or something to that effect, okay? So we have Sean. Hey, Mr. Gregg, Happy New Year from Trinidad and Tobago. How you doing, Sean? I love you. Thank you for being here. I thank everybody for coming in here. Hey, my 1 hour show is 1.5 hours. Boy, can Peter talk. Okay, so anyway, how you doing, Sean? Sean Seabrand. Lewis, you're right. I have to get the content back. Yeah, you need to come up with a saying for that. We're back, baby, or something like that. Come up with your with a comment for content back, baby. You need to help me with that one. So, Funnel Fest, how you doing? Hello, Peter. Happy New Year from New York. No, I don't know where he is. He's just saying hi. Okay. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. Jim is seeing your setup is cool. Yeah, I like to show stuff that you don't see on other people's things. I'm not like proud, where I got to hide my underwear, so to speak. Not being nasty, okay? But people like to see that stuff and they like to understand. And this is this channel is small. So we're family. Most of us here are family. Okay. There we go. Maybe you should do a video on cable management. Just throwing out ideas. Well, I probably have to get a cable management professional. Like, who is a cable management professional? I don't know, to help me with the cable management. I knew you were going to be watching that. That's why I brought that up. Okay. Daniel says, no, not cheap at all. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that too. Now that concludes our show. Thank you for watching. If you watch this show on the where they rerun it or they reprocess it, YouTube will take a day or two to reprocess it and then post it as if it was brought up or uploaded. Okay. So how do you know if a show has been reprocessed or not? A live show. The live shows that have not been reprocessed don't show all the comments, okay? The live comments. They show the comments underneath, all right? But the shows that have been successfully reprocessed, which could take up to 48 hours, okay, from now, they actually will show, like Danny's I'm sorry to call you Danny, Daniel, okay? Some people like their full name. Like I don't like being called Pete or Petey, okay? I don't make an issue of it, but it makes me sensitive to the fact that maybe Daniel doesn't like to be called Danny, Randy. Randy, I call him Randy. All right, it's Randall, but I did ask him permission. Can I call you Randy? Oh, of course. And now he's Randy to me. Okay, Randy, wake up! You're sitting on the couch sleeping, buddy. Oh, Randy got to ride in a Model Y Tesla this week. I am so freaking excited. I can't get through to him because he's doing a lot of overtime now, okay? So anyway, thank you for watching. I love you guys. I pray for each and every one of you every single day, okay? By name. Every single day, I pray for every person in here. It's part of my prayer time. That's I have a prayer journal because I can't remember everybody I pray for. So Sean says that he sees his streams a few minutes after. Yeah, you'll see this stream. Okay? So maybe I said, good point, Sean. Maybe I said it incorrectly. How can you tell if something was live streamed if you're actually watching just the live stream, that actually just comes on immediately after we go off. So when I stop, you'll be able to watch this live stream immediately. What you cannot watch is the comments on the side. It's called the live chat. That doesn't appear until YouTube finishes reprocessing this, which could take up, like I said, to 48 hours because I'm streaming in 4K, not 1080. Okay, so if you don't have a button there that says live chat where you could view it after we're done, then YouTube hasn't finished reprocessing it. But you could watch it 2 minutes later. As a matter of fact, as soon as I finish, you can come back and watch it immediately. So Sean is right. I think I just phrased it incorrectly. Thank you, Sean, so much for saying that. I think sometimes I stumble over my own tongue, okay, or I say something not realizing the other person doesn't understand what I got in my brain is not coming out of my mouth. So that was a good catch, Sean. Thumbs up, buddy. All right, I love you guys. Take care. Catch you on the next one. If the bridge isn't up and the good Lord is willing, I'll see you next Friday live. And on my big channel, I'm going to start making videos that I upload like normal. I don't go live on that very often. So that's just the channel for Peter Gregg. Okay, so Sly is going to close out the show for us tonight. Great to see everybody tonight. Hope everyone has a good week. And I'll add, God willing and the bridge isn't up, see you next Friday. All right, bye, guys. Good night. Be good boys and good girls. Bye.